Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to Have a Great Morning, where we set the tone for the day, step into our greatness, and I help you show up as your best you. I'm Dr. Malaika Turner, and today's show is sponsored by Go Be Great and Be Nothing Less Clothing.
Equality.
Quote of the day: greatness isn't a destination, it's a decision. So choose it every morning and then let your light so shine. Today, we're diving into a resource that we all have in equal measure. Every single one of us has this resource afforded to us on a daily basis, but we all use it differently, and some of us take it for granted. Can you guess what resource that is? Time. Time. We are all afforded the gift of time. Every single one of us, from the baby to the elder. We all have time. But we use it differently. And some of us don't realize, we're not even aware of how we use our time. We just sort of get up and we go. You know, we get up and we are on autopilot and we just move, right? And we don't think about, we're not conscious of how we use time or how we use time to impact people around us, how we use time to build and create. We're not thinking about time because most of us are on autopilot. So I want to delve into this thing called time, and hopefully I can share with you something that's going to help spark how you divvy up and use your time. So let's think about this. Okay, so there are 1,440 minutes in a day. Okay, did you know that? 1,440 minutes in a day. How do we spend it? Well, let's think about it through numbers. Okay, let's continue on with this number thing. Right now, let me tell you, when I was working in a particular office, and I'd been talking about how I was going to complete my dissertation and what are some of the components that I would use, and I remember talking to someone who said, "Well, are you going to do quantitative or are you going to do qualitative?" And I said, "Well, I'm like a little nervous about numbers, so I'm probably going to err on the side of a qualitative, measuring my information in a qualitative way." And I remember her saying, and I'll never forget, and every now and then it comes back to my mind, she said, "Don't be afraid of numbers. Numbers tell a story." She said, "Numbers tell a story." And I thought, interesting. Numbers tell a story. Okay. We know that in this election cycle that we had a lot of news outlets who were sharing information, thought leaders, political strategists who were sharing their statement, their thoughts, their beliefs, who were just really joined in various conversations about our presidential candidates, the election, the direction, various populations, the impact, the whole nine, right? But it wasn't until after the election that we noticed the numbers, the statistics. Now, we hope that it's all accurate, but for the most part, a number of charts were created and published and posted so that we can look at the election from the numbers. And as she said, the numbers tell a story. So we saw who voted for who, what age group, what generation, right? What group of what population voted, how did they vote? And we saw that all through numbers. So that's why I want to talk today about numbers, because numbers tell a story, okay? So now, there are 1,440 minutes in a day. Now, on average, and I give or take different professions, how we work, some people sleep 8 hours a day, some people sleep 10 hours a day, some people sleep 4 hours a day, right? But let's just say on average, we sleep, or we should sleep, 8 hours a day. That's 480 minutes that we're sleeping, okay? So let's take that 1,440 minutes, 480 of those minutes we're sleeping, okay? Now, let's take the work schedule. Let's just say that you work 8 hours a day. I know some people work 7.5 hours, some people work 12 hours, some people work 16 hours, and if you're at-home mom, you're probably working all day. But let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, that you work 8 hours a day. That's another 480 minutes in your day. So you've spent 480 minutes sleeping, you've spent 480 minutes working. So that's 960 minutes that you've been doing something, or that you've been recharging to prepare to do something, most likely for someone else, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you're still working for your business. You're still cranking out reports and direction, and you might have employees, but even if you work for yourself, you're working, right? So, and let's just say you do that for 8 hours. That's 960 minutes, okay, that you are sleeping, resting, recharging, so that you can do something for your business, your work, your whatever your employment is. We have 480 minutes left. And the question is, how do we spend it?
Go be great and be nothing less. The brand that pushes you towards greatness.
What do we do with it? What are we doing with the remaining 480 minutes that we have in our day? How do we use it? What are our actions in the remaining 480 minutes of the day? Let's think about that. And so when we look at our remaining 480 that are my hours to use as I will, have you ever thought about how you use it? Do you exercise? Do you write? Do you read? Do you engage in the things that you're passionate about? So I really just want you to think through your life, your day, how you spend, who you spend it with. And I think it's really important for us to quantify our time, because time is precious, y'all. We really can't get time back. Once time moves, it moves on and it leaves us behind, and the next day starts. And I have to think to myself, what did I do yesterday? What impact did I make? Did I get rest? Did I pour back into myself? Did I pour into others? Think about your day and think about it in the time frame that you have. How are you using it? Right? We see that some people, some celebrities, some entertainers, they're up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Wealthy, you read where wealthy folks who are out there who are running billion-dollar businesses, they don't have time to sleep, right? But what are we doing with our day? Many times we find ourselves on autopilot. So we don't think about our day. We don't think about how we spend it. We get up, I eat my breakfast, I get ready for work, I've got to go, I've got to drop off this, I've got to drop off the kids, or even if I don't have kids, I've got to, do my morning exercise, do my morning routine, make a phone call, and then I've got to jump on Zoom, or I've got to jump on mass transit, or I've got to jump in my car, and I've got to get to work. I got to work all day. I got to crunch numbers. I got to make presentations. I've got to sit in meetings, whatever I have to do. And then after I'm done, I've got to leave work, jump back on mass transportation, jump in my car, or turn off Zoom, and I've got to start the rest of my day. And my question is, what do we do with the rest of the 480 minutes that we have in a day? How do we spend it? How do we feed our spirit, our soul? How are we using it to grow? How are we using it to help others? How are we using it to bring life to the people around us? How are we using it to create? Are we using it to create? Are we using it to really be intentional and have a purpose-driven type of life? And so that's what I want to ask. That's a question I have for you today. And so here's what I want you to do. Again, examine your 480 that you have left, give or take. I want you to choose one small action that brings you closer to living out your purpose, closer to doing something that you were put here on earth to do. Something that is going to put you in line to not only help others, but also help you leave a legacy. Maybe that's something you desire to do. But I want you to choose one small action that's going to bring you closer to living out purpose, living on purpose, and making that impact you were born to make. Because remember, okay, you need to go be great. That's what we say all the time, but that's a choice. Greatness is a choice that we make every day. And we have 1,440 minutes in a day to go be great. Let's make it count. Okay? All right. So listen, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this helped you tremendously. I do. I really do hope that it did something for you. But remember, don't keep it to yourself. I want you to make sure that you share and that you subscribe so that you can stay with us, stay in touch with our topics, with Have a Great Morning, and so that we can help you set the tone for your life, not only just for your day, but for your life. All right? Have a great day, y'all. Go be great and be nothing less.